justice is a concept that the National Association of Counties is pushing this year, and they're asking counties to look at their criminal justice programs and to spend their money effectively on programs that make long-term differences. And research shows that programs that address those underlying causing factors will help reduce recidivism. It'll reduce the number of repeat arrests. And so that's what we're trying to do here in Buncombe County, and that's where the concept of smart justice comes. And part of smart justice is just the cooperation among agencies working together. And the Smart Justice Fair, that's kind of what we want people to learn about, is how we're all working together in the criminal justice system to provide those services for citizens. And so that's why we got this together today and asked people to come out and learn about what we do.
Sometimes when people get involved in the criminal justice system, sometimes it cannot be very positive because they're dealing with criminal charges. And so many times is to give the public an understanding of exactly what we do as part of our jobs and have a better understanding of the criminal justice system and how somebody goes through that process and what happens to somebody when they get arrested or they appear in court or their time spent in the detention facility. Probably one of the biggest things I want people to know is that one of our main goals is to reduce recidivism. One of the things that's unique for Buncombe County in my position as facility director for the detention facility is we only want to keep those people that are in jail that need to be in jail. So we often do assessments of those people to see what kind of services do they need so that they can help themselves and reduce recidivism, so we don't have a very high jail population, which is something that we don't want to go ahead and do. So we focus a lot of the attention on services, whether that's for mental health care, whether that's for substance abuse, or housing, or other case management. And so we have a lot of other opportunities in which they can do that as well.
I think the Smart Justice Fair is a great opportunity for people in the community to come out and see what services are available to them in the community. There's a lot of misinformation about the court system. There are services throughout Buncombe County that collaborate to really be an opportunity for people to have a good experience with the court system, to be much more knowledgeable, to understand that services are here for them and to take advantage of those services. And this is a great opportunity for people to come out and meet all of us today who are a part of that system.
We work with the Division of Juvenile Justice. We serve juveniles ages 6 through 15. Either they come to our office on ungovernable or delinquent offenses.
We actually don't just serve juveniles that committed a delinquent offense. We also serve juveniles who are status offenders, such as runaways, truant from school. Typically, once we initially get a juvenile in our system, if it's the first time minor offense, we try to defer them and put them on a diversion contract. Typically, a diversion contract would consist of teen court. Well, the consequences of their actions can be determined by their peers. So they'll present their case and their peers will actually give them consequences for their behaviors. We also have mediation as a diversionary practice, where if they're truant from school, they'll meet with a mediator. The mediator will offer them mediation for truancy, can be a mediation for a fight that they could have been involved in. And these are some of the different types of resources we have available for kids, opposed to sending them to court.
We use restorative justice as a teachable moment in the event that they've committed the crime, they've stolen iPod, something from the mall, and it's of a money value. We use restorative justice
or community service, just to give back to the community if they have taken something from the community. We try to promote giving back.
We are an effective program for people to incarceration. They have to be on probation in order to be eligible for our services, but we have a variety of services. We have substance abuse treatment, we have dialectical behavioral skills group, which helps them engage in what kind of life do they want to live. And we have job skills, and we have a job counselor on staff who helps them get work and prepare a resume. And we have GED skills also. So people always want to know, how is this going to help me out and things like that. And part of what we get them to think about is what are the resources they have available to them and how can we help them beef up those resources a little bit. So we become like a natural support for them. We help them engage in thinking about what are their skills and what skills they can learn to make healthier decisions in life and to reduce any distressful situations and how do they tolerate them a little bit better. And then we also provide them with it's like a one-stop shop where they can get, you know, job stuff done, their GED done, if they need any mental health and substance abuse, and then the skills training. We also offer small incentives like bus passes and things like that for them.
GelBased Services and treatment courts are a collaborative effort with the community and the jail and treatment providers to help individuals who get into the justice system. Our goal is to reduce recidivism and get people into services for treatment, mental health, reentry services, substance abuse treatment, things that they otherwise wouldn't get, to hopefully help them stay out of the justice system in the future. Some examples of these services are pretrial services, treatment courts, which help people get into recovery. Some other examples are mental health treatment. We try to get people set up with services outside of the jail as well as in. I think that Buncombe County is good for offering these services because there is that understanding in the county and the public. There's thinking that maybe part of the reason that people are getting caught up in this system is because they have unaddressed mental health issues or substance abuse issues, and there's support for getting these people into treatment rather than just keeping them in jail and running through that cycle.
A number of the counties in North Carolina do have public defender's offices. They are state agencies. The Buncombe County has a public defender's office with 12 attorneys, 3 investigators, and 4 legal support staff. When someone is charged with a crime, they're entitled to court-appointed counsel if they're found by the court to be indigent. Indigent means that they do not have the sufficient financial funds to retain counsel, and that determination is made on a case-by-case basis by a judge. If that individual is found guilty or they plead guilty to a criminal charge, then they have to reimburse the state of North Carolina for their court-appointed attorney's fees. If the individual is found not guilty or the charges are dismissed, they do not have to pay for their court-appointed counsel fees. In cases where the individual, if found guilty, could receive a suspended sentence or jail time, we cannot give out free legal advice. We can only give legal advice to individuals that the court has actually appointed us to. And our time has to be 100% devoted to those clients. We cannot take retained cases. We focus solely on our court-appointed cases.
Pretrial services interviews everybody who's arrested, and that information we get, we then share with other agencies. And what we're doing is trying to identify people who have substance abuse or mental health issues, or people who are safe to release to the community. And that helps us manage our jail population, and it helps us address those issues that get people involved in the criminal justice system. And that's what we're calling a smart justice program.
The magistrate is your first appearance judicial official. We're the ones who decide whether you can be charged, what you're charged with, whether you have to stay if you are charged, you have to post a bond, or you're released on your own signature. If you're brought in and you're charged with something, a magistrate determines whether you should be released, and they base that on whether you're a danger to the public, what your past criminal history is, whether you come to court on time, that type of thing is what bases the bond. If somebody has never been arrested before, they're released pretty much on their own signature. I think the biggest thing that the public needs to know, we're an independent judicial official. We're not on the side of law enforcement. We're not on the side, we're supposed to be a neutral party. All right, we look out for both sides, for the public and for law enforcement. So we try to use our discretion on each individual case. We just try to make things fair.
Basically, detention prevention was set up to kind of give kids an alternative to see what actually goes on within the detention facility, to try and help them make the better choices in life instead of making the wrong choices. A while back we used to have a Scared Straight program, which that really wasn't deemed safe with them coming in here and actually being able to look around, so we come up with a different alternative to be able to take it to them and be able to show them instead of them actually coming here and visiting. We've gone to a different range of schools, everything from elementary schools to intermediate schools all the way up into high school. And each school we've been to has actually had a different perspective on what they think it is and what it is actually all about. And you kind of have to adapt to whatever age group you're talking with. I've had some of the smaller kids get in there and play and just be real inquisitive as to what's what. I've had some of the other kids that have come through and more of perspective, okay, what happens in here, what happens with the legal system, what actually puts you in here. Number one message I have for kids would be to just stay in school, do right, and basically just get a good education and make the best out of it that you can.
I think all of our goals, all of the district court judges have the same goal, particularly in criminal court, which is really what this fair is about today, is that we want to be there in the community. We want to help people to avoid recidivism, to provide services to individuals, particularly with mental health and substance abuse, that we can engage people in services so that we can try to change certain criminal behaviors, not only to provide a productive possibility for that individual and their family members, but also for the community to keep them safer.